Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today is January 14th, and we're looking ahead to the feast day of St. Fabian on January 20th. And his story is, well, it's one of those ones that almost sounds made up.
It really is. It's just so improbable.
Our mission today is to figure out how a total unknown, a layman from the countryside, ends up leading the entire church in 236 AD.
And not just leading it, but preparing it for what was coming next. Because you have to remember the context of the 3rd century. It wasn't a stable time. The church was constantly swinging between these moments of uneasy peace and then periods of intense terror.
So let's jump right into that. The papal election. It's just a wild story.
It is.
Fabian isn't even a candidate. He's not a priest. He's not on anyone's list.
No, not at all. In political terms, he's a nobody. He had apparently just come into Rome from his farm to, watch the election happen. A spectator.
To see what was going on?
Exactly. And the electors, they're all deliberating, trying to figure out who's next. And then this moment happens.
The dove.
The dove. A dove flies into the room and lands right on Fabian's head.
Out of nowhere.
Completely out of nowhere. And for the people there, that was it. It was a sign. I mean, it was the sign.
The Holy Spirit has made the choice.
That's how they saw it. So the whole assembly, they just cried out, "He is worthy," and immediately acclaimed him as the new pope.
Wow. Okay, but that's an incredible story. It's a miracle. But then Monday morning comes.
Right.
You actually have to run the church. How does a layman, a total outsider, just step into that role? I mean, surely the established Roman clergy, the ones who were passed over, had to have some thoughts on this.
You would think so, but it seems his competence just immediately took over. He had this 14-year pontificate, which for the time was a pretty long stretch.
It was mostly peaceful.
A time of relative calm, yes. And he used every minute of it. He started getting things organized. He brought in what you might call ecclesiastical discipline.
So basically rules and structure where there was maybe chaos before.
Exactly. He did 2 major things. First, he divided Rome into 7 districts and put a deacon in charge of each one to manage charity and care for the poor. He was building a real social safety net.
And the second thing, I think, is just incredible foresight, recording the acts of the martyrs.
Oh, absolutely. This was profound. He made sure not only that the martyrs were buried with reverence, but that their stories, the acts of their martyrdom, were carefully recorded.
That's not just record keeping, is it?
No, it's building an identity. It's creating a foundation of heroes and stories for future generations. He was also a real defender of what he called apostolic tradition, the authentic teachings. He even sent missionaries out to Gaul. He was a builder.
So he spends 14 years building this very organized, very efficient, and I guess very visible church structure.
Yes. Highly visible.
And is that visibility what ultimately puts him in the
crosshairs? Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that piece, it ended abruptly.
In 250 AD.
In 250, the new emperor, Decius, unleashes this fierce, systematic persecution.
And this was a different kind of persecution.
It was. It wasn't just sporadic arrests. Decius demanded that every single citizen make a public sacrifice to the pagan gods. It was a loyalty test.
A test that no faithful Christian could pass.
Exactly. And because Fabian was the leader, because he had built this effective organization, he was target number one of the very first arrested.
And he didn't back down.
He was steadfast. He refused to sacrifice. He was imprisoned. And on January 20th, he sealed his ministry with his own blood. He died a martyr.
And his final resting place, his epitaph.
It's so powerful in its simplicity. It's in the cemetery of Callistus, and the inscription just says, Fabianus Episcopus Martyr.
Fabian Bishop Martyr.
That's it. That's his story.
It's just an incredible arc.
Yeah.
From, this accidental spectator in a crowd to a brilliant administrator and finally a brave shepherd who dies for his people.
It really is, and it leaves you with a pretty big question, I think. Well, Fabian was chosen by this very clear, very dramatic divine sign, the dove. So does that change how we view leadership? I mean, is divine guidance just easier for people to accept when the call is so obvious?
Or was it the 14 years of competent, faithful work that really proved he was the right man for the job all along?
Exactly. Which matters more, the sign or the service that followed?
That's a great thought. Something for all of you to chew on this week as you navigate your own lives. We encourage you to explore more about the early church and the Decian persecution. It's a fascinating and intense period of history. We'll be back tomorrow with another deep dive. Thanks for listening.